Want to destroy everything in your path, and while you're doing that, do a ton of damage and still maintain your health? Well, today I'm going to show you guys my new rack attack build that's going to have you laughing at level 53 content all the way. This is LaserBolt and welcome to today's video, guys. Today I want to show you guys my new rack attack build for level 53. It took me a while to actually farm and get a couple of these pieces, but I'm pretty sure as you guys progress throughout the game and as you level up to level 53, you'll be able to get some of these pieces. Regardless if you're on the PC though, I will include a save file so you can just definitely download the file and you guys won't have to farm for those certain pieces. Now, there's some pieces that I'm still missing, which I'll explain a little bit later in the video. But overall, in general, the pieces that I have kind of make the build work perfectly. And today we're going to talk about what you're going to need and how this build works. But before we get started, I do have a question for you guys. Do you think they should have increased the level cap to a level 60, 61? Or are you guys happy with the level that it got increased to? In addition to that, guys, I do want to remind you we stream daily on Twitch. The link is down below in the description. Make sure you guys click that link and hit us with a follow so you guys won't miss when we go live. And I will love to see all of you guys there. All right, so here we are, guys, within the skill tree. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the hunter tree and, of course, the stalker tree. The stalker tree is primarily going to be our tree where we're going to be getting a ton of health from. And then our hunter tree is going to be where we're going to be getting a lot of damage from. So let's start off with the stalker tree. We're going to be dumping a total of 4 points into self-repairing system. But this is going to do, it's going to give Flag maximum health, but it's going to also allow him to constantly regenerate his health, which is extremely important. We do not want to dump all total 5 points here because we are going to be able to get our health from other options as well. So we don't have to go like super on full on 5 points here. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into ferocious attack. What this is going to do is that every time we shoot an enemy, it's going to give us the ferocious attack, which is going to allow us to stack up gun damage, handling, and pet damage up to 10 times, which makes it really powerful. Next up, guys, we're going to do a total of 5 points into eager to impress. Once again, this is a kill skill, which is going to reduce our action skill cooldown, allowing us to have our racks constantly and almost indefinitely up. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 1 point into Lick My Wounds. This actually comes really clutch, especially in those situations where you kind of go down and there isn't any enemy around you, and it's very hard to get that fight for life. Your pet will come in clutch and come and save you. And since our pet's going to have a good amount of health, he's not going to be down, so he will come and save you guys. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into Turn, Tail, and Run. What this is going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to constantly regenerate your health while you're moving, and you're also going to be gaining damage reduction. So if you're moving, you're going to be getting gun damage, and you're going to be getting fire rates, and it's just a really good one to have, because in addition to all that, you're also going to be getting your health back, which makes it extremely important. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 3 points into the Fast and the Ferocious. Once again, this kind of goes hand in hand with the Turn, Tail, and Run, because what it does is while you're above half health, gun damage and movement speed are increased, and also paint damage is also increased. So your pet's going to get damage, your gun's going to get that damage boost, and you're going to get that movement speed, which is going to make Turn, Tail, and Run even more effective. Next, last but not least, within the skill tree, we're going to be dumping 2 points into Rage and Recovery. Once again, another kill skill. After killing an enemy, Flack and his pet will regenerate his health. And since we're going to be constantly killing enemies and taking them out, this is actually going to be very beneficial. That pretty much covers the stalker tree. Let's go ahead and head on over to the hunter tree. All right, so here we are, guys, within the hunter tree. Now, for the hunter tree, guys, we're going to be dumping a total of 5 points into Interplanetary Stalker, which is going to turn all the enemies into pretty much pets, both robots and humans, and that's going to allow us to do a ton of damage. But it coincides perfectly with Hunter Eye. We're going to be dumping 5 points into Hunter Eye, which is going to even increase the bonus of damage we do to humans, robots, and beasts, making this kind of just beautiful synergy. We're also going to be dumping a total of 3 points into Head Count. What this is going to allow us to do is that when we score a critical hit chance, there's going to be a chance that our action skill cooldown is reduced, making our racks almost indefinitely to be constantly up. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 2 points into Two Fang. Now, Two Fang is kind of interesting because it's going to allow you to fire a extra projectile per shot. Now, this is only kind of really beneficial if you're using a weapon that doesn't have a lot of bullets. So the weapon we're kind of using for this particular build, it just goes in perfectly because it allows us to get that extra projectile more frequently. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping 3 points into Big Game, and this one goes in perfectly with the most dangerous game. Basically, what this is going to do, it gets a hunter skill, and what it does is the hunter skills become more effective and last longer. But since it goes in perfectly with the most dangerous game, which is another hunter skill, that whenever we kill a badass or a strong enemy, we're going to increase the damage of our critical hit damage, and our gun damage and handling will also get increased. Now, based on our class mods that we're running here, you guys can see that gun damage goes all the way up to plus 50, which is extremely spicy. Next up, guys, we're going to do 1 point into Galactic Shadow. This is going to do increased damage when we score a critical hit chance, which is really important. We're also going to be doing 5 points into Grim Harvest, once again increasing our gun damage and our action skill damage. It makes the rack attacks really, really powerful, even though you don't expect that your rack attacks are going to kind of kill enemies. But with all the synergy that we have within this build, it is going to be extremely powerful. Next up, guys, we're going to be dumping our last points into Megavore. This is going to allow us that wherever we hit an enemy, it's going to consider it as a crit shot. So whenever you hit him in the foot, you clip his nails, or you hit him in the forehead, it doesn't matter. It's going to be considered as a crit hit chance. There's a plus 20% chance of that actually happening. Now, what are we picking up from here? We're also going to be picking up, of course, our rack attacks. We are going to be going with the Falconer's Feast. Now, the only reason I'm going with this one is because it's going to give you more survivability. If you feel comfortable and you feel that you're not going down or you're not lacking any kind of health problems, then you're probably going to want to go with Flock and Load. But if you feel like you're having problems with staying alive, then yeah, you're going to have to go with the Feast. The last one we're picking up is the Rack Accelerator. What this is going to allow us to do, it's going to increase the cooldown rate, and we're going to get an additional charge for our rack attacks, making us have our rack attacks extremely active every single time. As far as the pet is concerned, guys, we are going to go with the Guard Skag. The reason we're going with the Guard Skag is because he's going to increase our damage that we're able to do. And it's a plus 5 damage. It's still pretty helpful for me, and I think that plus 5 comes in handy. And he's actually pretty effective. I actually like him. So if there's another pet you guys might consider to be better, let me know in the comment section down below. Now that we covered the skill tree, it's time for us to take a look at our gear. And so here we are, guys, within the gear menu. So within the gear menu, guys, as you guys can see, I am running the Maggie. And if you saw the gameplay, we were constantly wrecking with the Maggie. The Maggie is actually a pretty powerful one. I was actually fortunate enough to actually get this Maggie drop at level 53, which is amazing as that's a new level cap. So it took me a while to actually get this. That's why the video took a little bit longer than expected. Now that we got our Maggie, it just makes the build really, really powerful. In addition to that, guys, we got the enemies damaged by a rack attack. Take 100% increased damage for a short period of time. If you saw my intro clip, you saw that I was pretty much killing the, any sort of badass in one clip of a Maggie. And that's going through yellow, blue, and red shields. So it's extremely powerful once your rack attacks hit. So definitely what you want to play this is you want to throw your racks and just unload the Maggie on whoever. The next weapon I was fortunate enough to get was the Brainstormer, and this is just a level 51. If it was a level 53, it would be even more powerful. Once again, with the anointment, enemy damage by rack attack, take 100 increased damage. It's actually a really good weapon. It's going to help you clear out a lot of mobs, and it's just going to take them out regardless of whatever shield they have, because you are going to be running shock on this. Now, there are other weapons you could possibly use here. The Restributor is another really good weapon, as long as it has the anointment, rack attack damage. The Rowan's Call, both of the calls which ricochet are actually pretty good, as long as you have the enemy damage by rack attack. It's going to be fit in perfectly. The reason why I went with the Brainstormer is because it's a really good weapon when it comes to chaining enemies. But other than that, all those weapons will work perfectly here for this particular build. Next up, guys, we are going to be looking of course at our Transformer, which is our shield. This one is just a really, this is basically my favorite shield. I think it works very well regardless whatever build you put together. You slap in a Transformer with a good anointment, you guys should be good to go. On this one in particular, we have the anointment on action skill and gain 50% bonus corrosive damage while the weapon for 10 seconds. Since our action skills are active constantly, we're going to be proccing these frequently. And since you're doing levels like mobbing or you're doing Slatter Shaft, you're always going to want to have that extra corrosive damage, which is going to be really good. As far as our grenade is concerned, I haven't been able to get a level 53, but we do have on action skill and gain 50% bonus cryo damage while your weapon for 10 seconds. Once again, guys, the Hex is a really good grenade, and having that additional 50% cryo damage, which is almost active constantly because we're using our rack attacks every 10 seconds, it just makes it awesome. Next up, guys, we're going to be checking out our Butcher Bounty Hunter. This is a level 53, and this is pretty much a god roll, guys. We have a plus 26 weapon damage, plus 53 Jacob weapon accuracy, and a plus 48 Jacob weapon critical hit damage. The only thing I would change for this to make it an extremely god roll would be that 31% weapon, pistol damage. It would make this a complete god roll, and it would make the Maggie even more powerful than what it currently is. But as of right now, I'm still wrecking with this one. It's extremely powerful, and I highly recommend you guys definitely go with this. And it just synergizes perfectly. The reason why you want to go with this one is because we have a 3% chance to activate any purchased hunter skill when dealing gun damage. It just keeps our skills active as much as we can. Then, last but not least, we're going with the Last Stand Auto Idol. This one, once again, it's going to restore our health, which I said, remember earlier, that there were multiple ways of us being able to get our health back. This is one of them. It comes with a plus 15 weapon reload speed, which makes us reload our Maggie really fast. It comes with a plus 23 action skill cooldown rate, keeping our rack attacks constantly, and a plus 1,926 max health damage. And it's temporarily invulnerable when health drops below 50%, once again giving us that nice survivability. But overall, in general, guys, that is the complete build together. Now, how do you want to actually play with this particular build? Well, in order for you guys to be very effective with this build, of course, the first thing is you want to make sure your rack attacks hit the enemy. That is the #1 priority, whether you're bossing or you're fighting mobs. Make sure the rack attacks hit, count 10 seconds in your head, launch another rack attack, and you guys will be good to go because we're getting that cryo and that corrosive. Now, the only difference if you're fighting a boss, one thing I do want to suggest, forgot to mention, was that I had the bank stick with the rack attack build. And the way you want to do with the bosses is very simple. What you want to do is send your rack attack, shoot the bank stick. Once the bank stick is completely shot, switch over to the Unforgiven, send out another rack attack, and then you will automatically melt any boss within the game. That is basically how you want to play with this build. I do have both the Unforgiven and the bank stick that I will upload in the save file. So let's try to get this video to 100 likes, and we'll get that save file ready for you guys. Thank you. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything you guys would change from this build or any recommendations. Drop it in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.